It is 4th of July, and happy 4th of July to you. Here we are at our home in Mesa, Arizona. It's a bit hot, so we're going to try to stay a little out of the shade on our beautiful fig tree here. I'm so proud of Hayden. This is his first song. He wrote the music and the words.
It's called Assembled Out of Sorts, and it's number 30 in our 500 fiddle songs, and it's in the key of G.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Assembled out of sorts, they lay just where they lay. Sometimes the best occurs when you're rolling in the hay. When I woke up today, I know that you were there. I knew it's gonna be a good day, 'cause I know that you still care. Assembled out of sorts, they lay just where they lay. Sometimes your best occurs at the beginning of the day. The next thing that I did, I went to get your coffee. Since this is the most important, I wouldn't be considered naughty. Assembled out of sorts, they lay just where they lay. Sometimes your best thoughts occur when you're rolling in the hay. Go show somebody love, pretend that you care. The next thing you know, it will really be there. Assembled out of sorts, they lay just where they lay. Sometimes the best occurs when you're rolling in the hay. Change your mind, change your life, let me give you some advice. Have great friends and find a cool mate, and the next thing is smile.
I'm so proud of you.
That's our song.
It's your song.
It's our song.
I'm so proud of you.
This song was our musical waif to you. This is our first effort to bring a new song to you. It was very exciting for us to share this. It's a little rough, but hopefully there will be others. The words came to me as I was lying in bed on June 29th in a happy state. And the next thing came the melody. Thank you so much for all your support to be able to produce this song, first song for us. On this 4th of July, 2020, here's a little bit about our Independence Day. It's a federal holiday here in the United States commemorating the Declaration of Independence of the United States on July 4th, 1776. The Continental Congress declared that the 13 American colonies were no longer subject and subordinate to the monarch of Britain, King George III, and were now entitled free and independent states. The Congress had voted to declare independence 2 days earlier on July 2nd, but it was not declared until July 4th. During the American Revolution, the legal separation of the 13 colonies from Great Britain in 1776 actually occurred on July 2nd, when the Second Continental Congress voted to approve a resolution of independence that had been proposed in June by Richard Henry Lee of Virginia, declaring the United States independent from Great Britain's rule. After voting independence, the Congress turned its attention to the Declaration of Independence, a statement explaining this decision, which had been prepared by a committee of 5 with Thomas Jefferson as its principal author. Congress debated and revised the wording of the Declaration, finally approving it 2 days later on July 4th. A day earlier, John Adams had written to his wife Abigail. The second day on July 1776 will be the most memorable epoch in the history of America. I am apt to believe that it will be celebrated by succeeding generations as the great anniversary festival. It ought to be commemorated as the day of deliverance by solemn acts of devotion to God Almighty. It ought to be solemnized by pomp and parade with shows, games, sports, guns, bells, bonfires, and illuminations from one end of this continent to the other, from time forward forevermore. Adams' prediction was off by 2 days from the onset. Americans celebrated independence on July 4th, the day shown on this much publicized Declaration of Independence, rather than on July 2nd, the date of the resolution of independence was approved in a closed session of Congress. Historians have long disputed whether members of Congress signed the Declaration of Independence on July 4th, even though Thomas Jefferson, John Adams, and Benjamin Franklin all later wrote that they had signed it on that day. Most historians have concluded that the Declaration was signed nearly a month after its adoption on August 2nd, and not on July 4th, as is commonly believed. By a remarkable coincidence, Thomas Jefferson and John Adams, the only two signers of the Declaration of Independence, later to serve as presidents of the United States, both died on the same day, July 4th, 1826, which was the 50th anniversary of the Declaration. Jefferson even mentioned the fact only one other signator, Charles Carroll of Carleton, survived them, dying in 1832. Although not a signatory of the Declaration of Independence, James Moore, another founding father who was elected as president, also died on July 4th, 1831. He was the third president who died on the anniversary of the independence. As I have been fortunate to work on these words and melodies the last several days, I thought of much time we have been fortunate to spend with a great man named Jeff Dayton. Jeff Dayton has written hits for George Strait and other artists. All Jeff's life, he has been a musician, and I am dedicating this song to my very fine friend and inspiration. We just love how you live your life sharing music with others and making us feel we are all part of this. You have always been so gracious, including us. Jeff has reached a great pinnacle and has me come up on stage and perform one of his hits. This gives me a great hope and encourages me to be a humble man just like you. We are in front of Marina's fig tree. She has many beautiful trees in her house. This tree is producing a lot of fruit. One of the trees that grows really well in Mesa, Arizona is figs. What other trees grow well here?
Well, I got a peach tree and orange trees and grapefruit and mulberries. A lot of fruit trees.
Citrus does really well in Arizona, and we're fortunate to kind of be in an area where it's been very popular in the past. Citrus was one of the 5 C's of how Arizona was founded. They say that Arizona was founded by 5 C's. Can you tell me the other 4? We'd like to dedicate this song to our great friend Nick from Pennsylvania. He loves figs.
There's a lot of figs.
And he also loves Arizona. Nick has been with us through thick and thin and helped me understand the importance and appreciate the principle of learning new words as we attended school together at Arizona State University. We love you, Nick, and your beautiful family.
Happy 4th of July. Come and get all these figs, Nick. There's a lot of them.